Now, I know some of you don't have your ears to the ground the way I do, and this story might have passed you by, but it was brought to my attention just a couple of days ago. There's a club in Spain called Barcelona, presumably named after the city of Barcelona. They have a football club there, and they've managed to run up an extraordinary amount of debt despite operating what, as far as I can tell, is an entirely reasonable, normal, and realistic transfer policy. They even had to release this guy called, Messi, who had apparently been earning loads of money there. He's gone too. And by all accounts, the club is in a little bit of a mess. Luckily, I'm something of an expert at fixing messes. Hello, folks, and welcome to part one of Rebuilding Barcelona, my brand new series. I'm Kev, and I am excited, so excited, that I would like you to share in my excitement and leave a thumbs up on the video. If we could hit 2,000 likes on this video, I'm going to give away a copy of FM22. Now, I know it's not out yet, but, you know, we can pre-give away a copy. As soon as it's available, I can get it over to you. So if you want to win a copy of FM22, which you'll get at the start of the beta period, just as soon as I can get my sticky little hands on a copy, make sure you like the video. As long as we hit 2,000 likes, I'll then give that away to somebody who's commented on this video. So you probably need to put a comment on there as well. Should have thought this through. So leave a like, leave a comment. I'd like to win a copy of FM22, and I'll give one of them away. In fact, forget that. I'll give two away. One to the comments, one to a person who retweets that this series has begun. I'll put a link in the description to the thing I need you to retweet. That's two copies of FM22 we're going to give away because I'm that excited for a new series. Let's get into the game and have a look at how I've set this up, because I know that's going to be the first question that everybody asks. Kev, how have you set this up so that you can... so that it works, so that it's not just super easy? We all know what I'll drop that voice now. We all know what managing a team like Barcelona is like in Football Manager usually. No matter how iffy or dodgy the team is supposedly getting in real life, we've seen, it's called Manchester United syndrome, I've decided, where, you know, there's so much money flowing into the club that they just turn themselves around in no time anyway. And I didn't want that to happen. I wanted a realistic challenge like in real life. In real life, the reports seem to vary between 1 billion and as high as close to £1.5 billion of debt that this club have got themselves into. Obviously, we've all seen what's gone on over the summer with Messi having to leave, Griezmann's left on loan, and they weren't able to register all their players. We know the mess Barcelona are in, and I wanted to replicate that as closely as I could in Football Manager. So I'm just going to show you how I've done that. There is going to be a link down in the description for how you can get a copy of this save file and play along if you want to, because I think what we've managed to do is quite cool. I've taken a lot of help on board in getting this database set up. It is on a custom database that's been built in many different directions. Huge thanks to Viking Dan for the video that he put out last week explaining how to set up a new save file that is both up to date with current transfers and has a 2021 start date. You'll see at the top here, the start date of the save file is the 31st of May, 2021. And we have last season's real La Liga table in here with Barcelona finishing third on 79 points. So this is accurate, true to life transfers. Look at the squad. The squad has Griezmann out on loan. It has De Jong is in somewhere. There's Luke De Jong. He's in. Messi's gone. So it is completely up to date for both players and the divisions and all that kind of stuff. But then we've also had to try and replicate the financial situation. So I've used the Viking Dan system that involves stuff from both Sort It Out SI and a particularly helpful chap from the Steam workshop called Sven, who's managed to get this set up so it has all the up-to-date fixtures and results and allows you to holiday forward, or not even holiday forward, just start the game at the end of that season. So they've done all the clever work behind that. And I've then tried to work out how to replicate Barcelona's financial situation, because anyone who's ever tried to give a club a massive debt, a massive negative balance in Football Manager before will know that two things happen. One, if you give them £1 billion worth of debt, the game won't recognise it's £1 billion worth of debt. So if you put that into the editor, it'll come back at maybe max £100 million worth of debt. and it will get cleared in no time. And if somehow you manage to fix it so the club ends up in a massive amount of debt long term, the club usually gets a takeover or a magical sponsorship deal. And it's very, very difficult to simulate the financial situation Barcelona have got themselves into in Football Manager. But with some help from Pav FM, who got in touch with me over on Twitter, and some fiddling and some testing in the database, I think I have a solution. And this is what we've done to replicate the financial situation. Firstly, we've made sure there's no transfer budget in the first season. We're in the overdraft, only £7 million in the overdraft. Don't panic. There is a solution to this. The wage budget is much lower than what we're actually spending. So we're certainly not in a position to be able to sign any players until we can sell them. But then the key thing that makes this work over long term is what we've done on the debt and loans page. And on here, we've set 3 loans up for the club. There was already, these two were already on there, a £699 million loan and a £50 million loan. That one previously started in 2010. I've just moved that forward to 2020. And then we've started another one for the same amount that starts also in 2020. Both of them are due to expire in 2025. So 4 years into the save. There is currently £1.17 billion of these debts to repay over the next 4 years. They've all got to be done in the next 4 years, which means that we're going to be paying out £25.5 million a month just in debt repayments. I've holidayed this through and tested it a few times. It causes long, ongoing financial problems for the full 4 years. As you can see, the in-game projections are showing that the club are going to be in a financial mess for a long time going forward. And in the practice, in the holiday through versions of this that I've done where I wasn't the manager, the club is still in a mess 4 years down the line. They're still overdrawn. They're still not really able to sign big players. Their big marquee transfer 3 seasons in was Anthony Martial, I think, on a free transfer. Most of the squad ended up leaving. On simulations, it's a mess. So my job is to not have it be a mess. I'm giving myself the 4 years that we're in debt for, because once that 4 years has expired, the club goes back to normal effectively. All the debt is repaid, and then the incredible amounts of sponsorships that this club has attached to them. I've not touched any of this. This is just all already in the database. But these sponsorships are nuts. So the combination of that plus Champions League money, all that kind of stuff, means that once you get past that 4 year period, Barcelona are back on easy street. So we've got a difficult 4 years. This is only going to be a 4-season save, unless I get sacked, in which case we stop sooner. But it's going to be a 4-season save with a goal to win the Champions League whilst the club is still in this financial pickle. So what I'm going to do now, you can see we're on the 31st of May currently. I'm just going to move forward in time to when everything ticks over for the start of the new season, just so that we get all the confirmations of budgets and stuff for then. The transfer window reopens, all that kind of thing. The one other thing that I've done is made it so that they can't do transfer. There's no transfers available in the first transfer window. So this first summer, there's going to be no transfers made. We're just going to be stuck with what the club has got in real life. So we're effectively going to be picking Barcelona up in the state they're in right now, in real life, squad they've got, financial position they're in. We've got to get through to Christmas with this squad, which, I mean, I'm talking as if this is going to be a real big hardship. I mean, this is a squad with Aguero and Coutinho, PK, Ter Stegen. This is not a terrible squad. This is a squad we should be able to get something moving with. But obviously, there's some very, very large salaries in this squad that are going to need dealing with. Coutinho is the obvious one at £400,000 a week. He is a big problem. But you then look further down the list and you look at someone like Ousmane Dembele and think £210,000 a week for him. His contract's up in a year. Two things there on the thought process. Thought number one, we're massively overpaying him. Thought number two, we're not going to, even if we wanted to, I don't think we're going to be in a position to renew that contract by that date. We can't sell him in the first window because transfers are turned off. So we're going to be in a position at Christmas where he can arrange a pre-contract with another club, or we can try and sell him, or we can offer him a new contract. And he's not the only player we're going to have that kind of decision with. Sergi Roberto, you can see we've got a similar situation. He's up in 2022. Ansu Fati's contract is up in 2022. Now, he's someone we probably can renew, but probably not until we've dealt with this. Imagine losing Ansu Fati in your first season. This is going to be tough. We're gonna move forward until the changeover into the new season, have a look at the squad properly, and try and come up with a plan. For anyone who's wondering why you don't just set it up with a big amount of debt like it supposedly is in real life, this is why. Football Manager doesn't let you as soon as you go too far overdrawn. It does stuff like this. So the club, we're like a week in, the club have restructured £30 million worth of debt. So they've taken the overdraft that we had, taken out another bank loan, this one over 10 years. So our monthly payments now gone up to £26 million. And I expect to see a lot of this restructuring of money going on. And it's ultimately pretty realistic compared to how this kind of stuff works in real life. They're not sitting there with £1 billion overdraft. They're going to be constantly negotiating payment plans with banks. And to me, I think it's quite realistic. You can see net debt is over £1 billion. We've got the job done there at the moment. We are passing FFP, but obviously with that amount of money coming out, I mean, that's going to be like £300 million a year right there, just going towards debt payments. So depending on how much money is flowing in and out of the club in other directions, yeah, potentially problematic. In other news, any Arsenal fans out there, I just had a notification through saying Mikel Arteta's been sacked. So in this world, sacked at the end of last season for finishing 8th in the Premier League. So the Arsenal job's available. Right, we're not quite at the point where the season has ticked over into the new season, but I figured this would be quite an interesting screen to have a little bit of a look at, just seeing all of the players that are out of contract at the end of next season. So we've already had a little look. We knew about Roberto, Dembele, Fati. They're probably the main ones looking at this. There's no majorly high potential youngsters we need to worry about. Ansu Fati, I think, has an extension clause. So I think we can just trigger his extension. So we're going to, and it's probably for 70 grand a week. I think that is a 2-year contract extension. Amazing. Ansu Fati is tied down. Ousmane Dembele is a problem. Does he have an extension clause? He does not. So he's earning £210,000 a week at the moment. He's on the transfer list here. I haven't transfer listed him. He's obviously transfer listed in real life. So that's interesting because no one's going to be able to bring him in. It then becomes a decision of, right, well, for the long term of the club, is it better to try and get rid of him on a free transfer? Because nobody can pay for transfers in this first transfer window. We could potentially bin him out on a free transfer. Sergi Roberto, £175,000 a week. I mean, it would be nice to be able to renew. But I don't think he's going to renew for 2.7k a week, is he? This save's going to be hard, isn't it? So do we offer Dembele out for free? Or on loan, I suppose, is the more sensible thing to do. Just get him out on loan for the year with someone paying all of his wages. Because then we might be in a position to be able to get Roberto to sign a new contract. I guess we probably try and do the same thing with Coutinho on £400,000 a week. I know Barcelona were trying to do this as well. But if anyone wants to take him on loan and pay all of his salary, if we can get those two, I mean, no one's going to do it, but if we could get someone paying the full salary of those two players, that brings us back within our wage budget. It means we can renew the contract of Sergio Roberto. Otherwise, next summer, we're going to be losing Roberto and Dembele and still not going to be in a position to renew the contracts of all of the players who are up the following summer. Just like to give a big shout out to my scouting team as well, who, in light of our current circumstances, still think it's appropriate to be giving me Lukaku, Bruno Fernandes, Dybala, Varane, Kimmich, Grealish as potential transfer options. Good work, boys. Okay, so we have now ticked over into the new season, so confirmation of what the board are expecting me to do this year. They want a Champions League semi-final and a title challenge with no transfer budget and that wage budget we had confirmed before of £2.6 million a week, and we're currently spending £3.2 million. Financial fair play, we're doing okay on this year. Like I say, I think that's going to be more of a problem a little bit further down the line, because in game, the club actually made a £340 million profit last year because those loans hadn't kicked in. So expect that to change in this coming year. I mean, this club gets so much sponsorship. That's insane. And we may as well do the top scouting package. Why not? Let's do the top scouting package. Yes, we're going to have all of that kind of stuff. And this is our squad. In fact, let's just look. Who have we got in the Media Dream 11? So Aguero and Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba, isn't it? I've never said his name right. Aguero is apparently the best player in La Liga. Is that really the state La Liga have got in? A 33-year-old released from Manchester City has gone into La Liga as the best player there. Poor old La Liga. I mean, that is a bunch of old men. It's an old man's league. Yikes. La Liga has become a retirement home already. So that's the Dream 11. This is the squad that we're working with. For now, tactics-wise, I've just stuck in the 3 that the game recommended. I think it's unlikely that we're going to do a diamond or a 5-2-3, 5-2-2-1 tiki-taka. We're going to figure out what to do tactically once we work out who's here. A lot depends on if we are able to ship anyone out on loan. I'm looking at Dembele and Coutinho, because obviously if they're here, then we'll use them, and we're probably leaning towards a 4-2-3-1 if those two are at the club. We may as well play to their strengths. But if they've both gone, then yeah, it becomes more challenging for sure. I mean, that's when we potentially do lean towards that diamond system, maybe. So let's have a look. If we have a look at squad depth on the, so if we look at the squad depth on the diamond, I mean, behind Aguero, there's not much of another striker. Depay can play there, although he's probably going to be better off playing deep. I mean, I'm leaning towards the 4-2-3-1. We go with Aguero up front on his own, and then you've got Depay, Coutinho, Fati, Dembele can all play in that 3 behind. Midfield, you've got De Jong, Busquets. I mean, that's your midfield right there. Presumably, I'm probably not going to play with a holding midfielder. And then the back 4 kind of picks itself as well. PK and then Longley or Garcia. Alba at left back. Roberto at right back. Ter Stegen in goal. There's a strong 11 here. It's not in any of these systems. That's. Are we going to do a gegenpress one? You know what? Kev loves a gegenpress. So if we were to, I mean, that team, of course, Pedri's here as well. Pedri only on 2.5-star current ability, supposedly. That seems a little harsh. I mean, that's not the team we'd use at all. But if we were to look at the squad depth on that, it's looking pretty generous. There's definitely things we can work with there. I don't think we're going to have much difficulty on the pitch this year. I think on the pitch, there is still a squad that's good enough there to potentially win the league. I think the issue comes further down the line with the finances and not being able to renew contracts and what we're going to be able to bring in. I think there's going to be a long period of having to survive on free transfers released by other clubs, maybe even bringing in loans. It's not really typical Barcelona transfers. I am now going to jump forward to the end of the summer, just as basically so that I can let you know at the end of this first episode if we were able to get anybody out on loan and do any more contract renewal type things. I'm assuming we're not going to be able to, because I think that's the case when you don't have transfer budgets in the first season. I think you can pretty much not do anything. So we'll jump forward to just before the first day of the season. We'll have the first couple of matches on tomorrow's video. But we'll just finish off the summer now. And obviously, I'll jump back in if anything significant changes. But as it stands at the moment, I guess as we expected, we've got no money. We can't renew any contracts. And beyond our first 11, we don't have much of a team either. We can always play Luke de Jong. We're just going to put this in for anybody who's playing along and comes in the comments and says, Kev, I'm playing along. And a couple of weeks in, we got a load of money from sponsorship and we've got £200 million in the bank. Thought the finances were going to be a problem. They are. Always look at net debt. Net debt is where it's at. We are still having a net debt of £900 million. And obviously there's lots of money that's going to be coming out of that over the course of the season as well. Worry not. We're kind of disregarding this number. and focusing on this number. By the end of our 4-year period at the club, this number will be 0 and we'll have won the Champions League. Something I can't do, never transfers. We've got Messi back! Busquets' testimonial. So it's one game in a friendly. But still, we've got Messi. Why is he on such a low salary there? That's not what he's earning in real life, surely. Surely. That's less than Philip Coutinho is earning here at Barcelona. Well, it seems no one's even able to do loans with the transfers being turned off for this first window. I found out the hard way, and I've upset Philip Coutinho, who doesn't like the fact I've offered him out on loan to other clubs. So I've responded by transfer listing him. Man management. He's out of contract in 2 years. We want shot of him. We can't pay his salary for 2 more years. If anyone wants him for free in January, he is definitely available. But I mean, there's nothing we can do transfer wise. And that was always kind of the plan. The transfers are going to start from January. Obviously, we can start planning for transfers as soon as this window closes, and potentially we might start getting offers for some players then, because at that point, budgets will start to appear. So hopefully some wheeler dealing can start soon. The overall balance is still looking lovely. But remember, we focus on the net debt projection. We ignore that. It's always a little bit broken in Football Manager. The key thing is we are showing as insecure finances on there. And you can see that I have made Gerard Piqué my new club captain. Messi scored his final goal for Barcelona in the Busquets testimonial as well, with Aguero, the new number 10, picking up the other 2 goals. Aguero looks like he's banging in goals for fun in pre-season, which is nice. This is the team I think I'm going to be going with, at least to start the season. There's probably a few players who are going to be a little bit miffed that they miss out. Obviously, Luke de Jong was probably expecting to be a regular starter in this team, but we've got a little bit more strength in depth than maybe I anticipated. Garcia, Pedri, Depay, Titi. I would expect all 4 of them to get a lot of football this year. So yeah, it's not a disastrous squad. And obviously there's a pretty decent youth setup here at Barcelona, I hear, although there's no other absolute superstars coming through. I mean, I can't be too fussy. We've already got Fati and Pedri in the first team. This guy, Nico, might end up being all right. He's got 4-star potential, maybe. Why is potential not showing on this screen? Because he's in the B team. I get you. Okay, so we'll see how he gets on this season in the B team with 3.5-star potential. I mean, it might be that we have to play players like that. He's not the typical Barcelona player, but he might be the kind of player that we have to rely on if we start to run low on players. But that's where we're going to leave this video. We've got our season prep done. Remember, if you want to play along too, there is a save file in the description for this video that you can download. If you haven't already done so, please make sure you retweet the announcement that this series has begun and like and comment on the video. Both of them are going to give you options or ways to potentially win a copy of FM22. I'll announce who's won that in a few days' time, because full disclosure, I'm probably going to record episode 2 right now. Fingers crossed we've hit 2,000 episodes. 2,000 episodes? No, 2,000 likes on this one. Now, I hope you are excited for the series. Looking forward to something a little bit different on the channel. A set 4-year timescale with a goal. Repair the club's financial damage, win the Champions League, and maintain Barcelona as a superpower, whilst getting that net debt figure. This is what we're going to be tracking all the way through. That will be 0 at the end of the 4 years. And hopefully I don't get sacked making that happen. If you have enjoyed this video, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. Oh, extra little bit of housekeeping. This is where only the ones who watch to the very end know about this. This series is going to be out every day at 4 o'clock, every weekday. Monday to Friday, 4 p.m. I have posted the full news schedule on the channel community page. That's all on there for you. I'm actually starting a new stream series tonight over on Twitch as well. So 7 o'clock tonight, I'm going to be managing Nottingham Forest over there. It's all go. We're starting to gear things up again and get ready for FM22. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. We've got lots of exciting things planned for them. And thank you very much for watching.